When was the last time you said these words to yourself? It's not fair. Maybe it was yesterday. Maybe it was this morning. Maybe it's something you're thinking right now as you listen to this. About your job, about your relationships, about your health, about why someone else seems to have it easy while you're struggling just to keep going. I've said those words too, more times than I can count. I've sat alone and whispered them like a prayer that never got answered. It's not fair. It's just not fair. And I was right. It wasn't fair. It isn't fair. And here's the part that might surprise you. It was never meant to be. What I want to share with you today took me many years to truly understand. And when it finally clicked, it changed everything. It changed how I see myself, how I see others, how I move through this wild and beautiful and deeply unfair thing we call life. So take a breath. Find a quiet space. Let's have a real conversation. Let me tell you about a conversation that changed my life. It wasn't dramatic. There were no fireworks. It was just an ordinary Tuesday afternoon. I was having coffee with a friend. I was in one of those moods. You know the ones where everything feels heavy, where every small thing going wrong feels like proof that the universe has something missed. I was complaining about the injustices of about how hard I'd worked and how little I'd gotten back, about how other people seemed to stumble into success while I was grinding away in the dark. My friend listened. She let me vent, and then she asked me a question. Just one question, but it landed in my chest like a stone dropping into still water. She said, "Who said life was going to be fair? Who said it was even meant to be fair?" I opened my mouth to answer, and then I closed it because I realized I had no answer. No one had ever promised me fairness. I had just assumed. I had built my entire emotional life on an assumption that was never true. That question stayed with me for weeks, and slowly it began to set me free. Let's talk about this illusion of fairness, because it's one of the most destructive stories we tell ourselves. When we're children, we're taught that life should be fair. Share your toys. Take turns. If you work hard, you'll be rewarded. If you're good, good things will happen. These are nice lessons. They help us learn to get along. But somewhere along the way, we forget that these are classroom rules, not universal laws. So we grow up expecting the universe to play by kindergarten rules. We expect our effort to equal our reward. We expect that if we love someone enough, they'll love us back. We expect that if we do everything right, nothing will go wrong. But that's not how it works. That's never how it worked. Look around you. Is it fair that some children are born into safety while others are born into danger? Is it fair that some people live long lives while others are taken too soon? Is it fair that you can do everything right and still lose everything? No, it's not fair. And here's the hard truth. It never will be. But don't stop listening, because this is where it gets good. This is where the chains start to fall off. There's a word I want you to think about. The word is surrender. I know what you're thinking. That word sounds weak. It sounds like giving up. It sounds like lying down and letting life walk all over you. But that's not the kind of surrender I'm talking about. I'm talking about the surrender that happens when you stop banging your head against a wall that was never going to move. I'm talking about the surrender that happens when you finally accept that the ocean is wet, that fire is hot, and that life is not fair. Not because you're giving up, but because you're finally seeing clearly. When you stop expecting life to be fair, something miraculous happens. You stop feeling sorry for yourself. Think about it. Self-pity only exists because we believe we've been cheated. We believe we deserve something we didn't get. We believe the universe made a mistake. But if the universe didn't make a mistake, if this was never about fairness in the first place, then there's nothing to feel sorry about. It's still painful. It's still hard. But the self-pity, that draining, exhausting emotion, it has nothing to feed on anymore. And when self-pity leaves, it makes room for something beautiful, something powerful, compassion. Let me tell you about raising my two children. Because if there's ever a place where fairness gets tested, It's parenting. I have two children. Same parents. Same house. Same rules. Same love. And they are completely different. One of them had everything easy. School was easy. Friends were easy. Life seemed to open doors everywhere. The other one struggled. School was hard. Social situations were hard. Every small victory cost 10 times the effort. And I drove myself crazy trying to make it fair. I spent extra hours with the one who struggled. Then I felt guilty about the other one. I gave more resources to the one who needed more help. Then I worried the other one felt neglected. I was exhausting myself trying to make everything equal, trying to make it fair. One day, my youngest looked at me and said something I will never forget. They said, "Please stop trying to make my life like theirs. I'm not them. I don't want to be them. I want to be me. And maybe my path is just different." That was my friend's question all over again. Who said life was going to be fair? Who said my children were supposed to have the same path? I had been so focused on fairness that I missed the point entirely. The point wasn't to make things equal. The point was to help each of them become who they were meant to become, to honor their unique strengths, to support them through their unique challenges, to love them exactly as they were, not as some fair version that existed only in my head. When I surrendered to the fact that their lives wouldn't be fair or equal, I finally became the parent they needed me to be. This is the shift I want for you today. The shift from pity to compassion. Pity is looking at someone who's struggling and saying, "That's sad." Pity keeps its distance. Pity feels bad, but does nothing. Pity makes everyone feel worse without changing anything. Compassion is different. Compassion is looking at someone who's struggling and saying, "I see you. I've struggled too. What do you need? How can I help?" Compassion gets close. Compassion takes action. Compassion brings kindness to everyone it touches. And here's the secret. You can't have real compassion for others until you have compassion for yourself. And you can't have compassion for yourself until you stop punishing yourself for life not being fair. When you accept that life isn't fair, you stop asking why me and start asking what now. You stop waiting for someone to come and fix things. You start looking for what you could do with what you have. You stop comparing your struggles to everyone else's highlights. This is the path. This is the way out of the darkness. But let me be clear about something. Accepting that life isn't fair does not mean we stop trying to improve things. It means the opposite. The fact that life isn't fair doesn't mean we shouldn't do everything in our power to make things better. For ourselves, for others, for the world. It means we should try even harder, because we realize that no one else is coming to fix it. The work is ours to do. We can't wait for the universe to balance the scales. We're the ones who bring fairness into an unfair world. One small act of compassion at a time. Think about that for a moment. This shifts everything. You go from being a victim, waiting for justice, to being a creator, bringing justice. From someone who complains to someone who acts. From someone stuck in self-pity to someone moving in purpose. So here's what I want you to do. The next time you find yourself thinking about the unfairness of the world, and you will, we all do, I want you to try something. Pause. Take a breath. Remind yourself of this basic fact. Life isn't fair. It wasn't promised to be. It wasn't meant to be. And then, in that moment of acceptance, ask yourself a new question. Not why is this happening to me? But what can I do with this? What's mine to carry? What's mine to change? What's mine to release? You might be surprised. That simple shift can move you out of self-pity and into helpful action. It can wake you up to reality and put you back on track. I've used this practice many times in my own life. During times I felt victimized. During times I felt unfairly treated. During times I had to make difficult decisions about who to help and who I couldn't help. This reminder almost always wakes me up. It brings me back to reality. It puts me back on solid ground. Not because the unfairness disappears, but because I stop fighting reality and start working with it. Let me share one more story. A recent one. Last month, I found myself feeling resentful. Someone I knew received an opportunity one had been working toward for years. They got it without trying. I had been trying for a long time. My first thought was familiar. It's not fair. I sat with that feeling. I let myself feel it. And then I remember my own advice. I paused. I took a breath. I reminded myself that life wasn't promised to be fair. And then I asked the question, what can I do with this? The answer came slowly. I could let this resentment poison me, or I could let it teach me. I could use it as fuel. I could look at my own approach. I could learn from what they did differently. I could keep going. That's what I chose. Not because it was easy, but because the alternative was staying stuck. And I've been stuck before. I know what that costs. This is what acceptance does. It doesn't take away the pain. It takes away the suffering that comes from fighting pain. It doesn't make things fair. It makes you strong enough to handle things as they are. Thank you for being with me through this conversation, for giving me your time and attention. If something I shared resonated, if it shifted something even just a little, I'd love to hear about it. Think about your own life right now. Were you waiting for fairness? Were you stuck in why me? Or could you shift to what now? That shift is always available. It's always one breath away, one question away, one choice away. If this series resonated with you, if it made you think differently even for a moment, then subscribe to this channel. Not because I need the numbers, but because you need the reminder. We are in this together. We are building a community of people who control their minds rather than being controlled by the world. Drop a comment below. Tell me about a time you stopped waiting for fairness and started taking action. Tell me about a struggle you're facing right now. I read these. This conversation continues down there. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, please share this with them. Sometimes the greatest gift we can give is a new way of seeing things. Until next time, be kind to yourself. Life isn't fair, but you got this. Take care.